Alright, so today I've got a cute little easy quick fun one for you. It is a snowman tumbler topper. Hope you guys can see him in the picture there. Look at him. Look at him. He's so cute. But he looks super duper fantastic on one of my dripping snow globe tumblers. And of course I do have a tutorial for this for you. Of course. Alright, so let's get into it. I'm going to start off with a tumbler base here, and if you need help making these, I have quite a few other videos with making the bases, so I'm not going to make these again. They are somewhat time consuming, but I will link that in the description if you guys need help. And yeah, we're going to get started here. So what we're going to use for this is, again, the Fast and Final spackling. And we're also going to need some little kind of snowflakes. I got these little guys at Michael's. I believe that Recollections also has some snowflake glitter, but these were like $2, so I decided just to grab these because I don't need that many of them. You could alternatively use some little clay ones, but I won't. And I'm also going to be using just a plain iridescent sparkle. This just came in a box of miscellaneous different colored fine glitter, or you can alternatively use something a little chunkier. This is like a jumbo glitter from Createology. I think I'm saying that right. I'm terrible at pronouncing things. But anyways, we're going to get started here. What we're going to do here, we're just going to use the spackling just plain out of the container. And I've got just a plain old piping bag with just this normal little open end on it. If you don't have an end, I think you could likely just cut the end of the spackling bag off and then just use it like that. I think you'd be okay just doing that plainly. So we're only making one topper here, so I'm just going to use 2 scoops of the spackling. I'm hoping that's enough. You know what? I'm going to use one more just to be safe. With this stuff, I can put it back because we're not going to be dyeing this or anything. It's just going to be plain. And you know what? If you take your spackling and put it into a piping bag, you can always put that piping bag, the whole thing, into a Ziploc bag to use later. So what we're going to do here, we're going to go straight down on this. I just want to make sure I don't cover this with my hand. You just want to go straight down and then just squeeze. Just like that. Then we're going to do it again. And again, and this, made a little bit of a mess here. We're just going to wipe that up. And a little bit too much glare for my lights here. There we go. Alright, now we're ready to add our glitter while he's still damp, and I'm just going to use this iridescent glitter. Any kind of iridescent glitter will be fine for this. I just got this in a pack of big glitter. So I'm just going to put the glitter right on top of him. You can move this around a little if your spackling's nice and stiff. You want your spackling to be fairly stiff to do this. All right, so we want him to have some little arms and of course a nose. So for his little arms, I'm just going to take a toothpick and break it. If you have some sticks outside, you could probably use that. I'm just going to use these. I think it'll be all right. And then you want him to have a little carrot nose. We're going to need to paint the little nose, probably the little arms too. So for his little nose, I just broke off a toothpick, and then we're just going to put that in his little face here. If I can manage to do that without making a mess, will be good. And I will be painting that when this is dry. So I'm going to come back when this is dry so I can paint his little nose. I'm going to paint him some little eyes. Then we'll go from there. So I decided before this is dry, I'm going to add a few little snowflakes to the bottom of the topper here. And you can seal these in with some UV resin. I'm going to just stick them on right now and then see how much of the spackling holds them. And then I'm going to seal this with a UV resin anyways, just to keep the glitter and everything on. So anything that doesn't stay stuck with the spackling, I'm going to UV resin it. And I just got these little guys from Michael's at the Recollections glitter area. All right, now we're just going to wait for this to dry. All right, and we're back with the snowman dry, and we're going to be painting on his features. I'm just using a basic black paint. Craft paint will work for this. This is what I have available, so I'm just using this. I'm using black. I'm going to be using orange, and I'm going to be using brown. Any craft paint will work. I'm just using the Liquitex because that's what I have available. So we're just going to paint his little nose so it looks like a carrot. Pretty easy. I've got a very tiny paintbrush for this. Just a craft paintbrush will work. It's pretty small. Just be careful. You could paint this before you put it into his face, but I didn't do that, so now I'm painting afterwards. So I'm just using my little dotting tool to make some eyes and his little mouth. You can use like a cake decorating tool. It's a very similar tool. I will link these in my description from Amazon. They were fairly cost effective, and I use them constantly. I love these little tools. So we're just going to use some of the black acrylic paint. Just do a little dab on each side. Just steady hand is useful when doing this. You can dab it a few times if need be, and sorry for my finger in the camera. And then just do the little mouth. And you could alternatively use little seed beads if you have those. I probably do have some somewhere, but this works just fine. All right, and then we're just going to mix up some of our orange paint and our black paint to make some brown paint, and we're going to paint his little arms. You can use brown paint, but since I've already got these two sitting here, I thought I'd just mix them together. It'll make a brown. You could, again, paint these before you put them in, but I didn't, so now I'm painting them when they're already installed. But works just fine, and it's pretty easy. So after I'm done painting this, I'm going to let this dry, and then we are going to use a UV resin on top of this to seal it all in. So I'm going to use my silicone mold to use as like a stopper for the UV resin so I don't drip the UV resin all over the place. 'Cause if I put it on the paper towel, it'll stick to it and soak into it, and then I won't be able to peel it off. So if I just use the little silicone mold as kind of a guard, then I don't have to worry if I get any drips. So I'm just going to cover all of this with the UV resin. Make sure you cover everything. You don't have to do this, but I like doing this so I can wash it and so it doesn't get dirty or moldy or anything. So just cover his little head, and you don't really have to worry if this drips down. It really doesn't matter. This part doesn't have to be perfect. Just get it as smooth as you can. It'll kind of drip down with gravity, so just kind of smooth it over him, and then we're going to cure him with the UV light. So after you're done curing him with the UV light, just make sure you don't have any loose glitter or any loose little clay glitter. And here is our little guy all ready to go on top of one of my drippy cups. I think he turned out pretty cute. What do you guys think of this? Do you like the toppers? Do you want me to do more toppers? Do let me know in the comments section. I do put out at least one new video every week, so please do subscribe. It really does help me build the channel so I can keep making you more videos. Thanks so much for watching.